Hey everyone, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a fun technique with distress inks. So I'm going to start off my card by using my Distress watercolor cardstock. And I like this cardstock because it's one of the whiter cardstocks out there. And of course there's a more textured side and a smooth side. Today I'm going to be using the smoother side. So I'm going to be using two colors of distress ink here. I'm just kind of securing my scratch piece of paper there. I'm using abandoned coral and I'm using cracked pistachio. It's one of the two new ones that I like the most so far. So I've got these two and we're going to be inking up this entire panel here. I'm going to do half-half. One half color of abandoned coral and the other half cracked pistachio. So I'm getting my ink blending tools here and I'm going to ink up my panels. And I really want to really get a lot of color on my panel here, because the more color that I apply and get onto my panel, the better the technique that we're going to be doing after this will really show up and work. So I'm really making sure that I really apply this ink and not having a light hand or anything. I'm just going for it and really inking up this panel. So I love this green or mint green color. I think a lot of us do. It's one of those colors that I really think that was lacking in the distress line. So I'm really happy that they added this color. And I'm looking forward to all the other colors that they add the rest of the year. So, and I know a lot of people, or I say a lot, I figure a lot of people are looking forward to the minis of the new ones too. So, I know one in particular that I was looking forward to the minis, and that's my my good crafty friend. Well, she's more than just a crafty friend; she's a friend, but Christy, which is Christy Gets Crafty here on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of you know her. So I know she's looking forward to the ink cubes too. But anyway, so I'm going ahead and doing the other side, like I said, with the abandoned coral. And I'm really, like I said, putting a lot of ink on here, because the more ink, the better my technique is going to work here. And this technique, I'm sorry, my throat is going in and out, so I'm trying to keep it clear when I do this voiceover. But anyway, so what we're going to be stamping is we're going to be stamping with water. So, and of course, as you know, distress inks react with water. So that's why I think this technique is so fun. So I'm just showing you the background there. And so now we're going to go ahead and grab my stamp. I'm using this one from Fawn. This is Argyle Backdrops. It's one of my favorites from them. And so I'm going to be using the solid portion. So I'm going to get my block here and apply my stamp to my block. And then we're going to go ahead and ink up our stamp with got my Mister bottle here with full of just regular tap water. Excuse me. And so I'm going to spray my water directly onto my stamp here. And there are different ways I guess you could do this. You could spray directly on there, and then whenever you stamp down, you can really leave it on there. So whenever the water really gets into the paper, the more wicking effect that it gives. I've done it both ways. I've left it on there and then I've stamped it down and then just took it right off. It just depends on what effect how much of effect you're going for, I guess is what I want to say. So you can see there the wicking effect that it leaves behind. It's so fun and it's just so cool. So if you've never tried this technique before, I highly recommend it, because I think that you'll really enjoy the fun effect that it leaves behind. I'm getting a baby wipe here. I'm just kind of dabbing off some of the water. And you could let this let the water really sink in and stuff, but I just wanted to move along with my card, so that's why I'm kind of dabbing away some of the water. So I'm going to go ahead and each time I'm going to apply water after I stamp. I'm going to apply water, spray the water, and then I'm going to apply it to my panel here. And you can see as we go down just the fun pattern that it leaves behind. And I really like it whenever we get into the abandoned coral, because it shows up even more so than it is now. So such fun technique. So we're going to go ahead and finish up our stamping here. I got one more time to stamp down. And so there was a pool there. I didn't want that to stay there. So you can see I dabbed away the excess water. And you can add, you can spray less water if you wanted to. Just maybe like one long spritz across your stamp. Or you could spray it a couple of times like I did. It's just, like I said, it's totally up to you what you want to do. So, and then this one, I wanted just a little bit more wicking. So I'm going in and without spraying my stamp, whatever water is left over from the last stamp that I did, I'm going to press my stamp right back down where I had it and get a little bit more effect from the water that I had left over. So really getting that pattern in there. You can see it kind of defined it just a little bit more. So fun. And like I said, and whenever you do this technique, what the fun part about it is that you never see or never get the same panel the same way twice. I mean, it's different each and every time. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the rest of our card. I've got a piece Bazzill cardstock here. I believe this is called Buttermints. And one of the stitched rectangles dies from Fawn. And I'm going to be using both the large and the small sets to trim down my card here. So you can see that stitch edge. I think it just finishes all, it off really well. So there we go. I'm going to let that continue to dry and sink in the paper. We're going to work on our sentiment part of our card. Now this stamp set from Fawn, this is one of the Fawn and Someone Says Stamp collaborations back in September. So I tried not to use this. This is actually the first time I'm inking this stamp up, to believe it or not. But I tried not to use it on camera, or I was not really tried not to use on camera, but I feel bad, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because not everyone was able to get the stamp set, because once it sold out, it was one of those that they're not making or reproducing or anything like that. So if you wanted it, you had to buy it right then. They didn't make dies for it. They just had the stamp set, but I think it's an adorable stamp set. So I apologize if you didn't get it at the time, that it's not available now. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and ink it up with my favorite black ink, which is the VersaFine Onyx Black. And I'm going to stamp that toward the top of my little square here, or rectangle, not square, rectangle. And I want to stamp that down, and it just leaves behind a really awesome stamped image. You can see that there. And then I want to take the little line of hearts in that same stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that below there, but I'm going to stamp that in the distress ink colors that we used. Normally, you don't usually use distress ink for actual stamping, simply because it doesn't leave a crisp image or anything like that. But I thought, since this is like a distressed looking card, that's what, it just kind of goes along with. I didn't care if it was crisp or not. So I'm inking one half of it with the abandoned coral, and then I'm going to go in with the other half of cracked pistachio. So you can see I'm inking part of it on one end, and then going in with the cracked pistachio on the other. I'm kind of trying to blend the two together in the middle there. And so whenever I started to stamp this down, I felt like I didn't have enough of the cracked pistachio on there. So I'm going to go back in my ink pad just to re-ink it just a little bit more. I'm going to stamp that down, and I really think that it ties everything together. So you can see it didn't do too bad of a stamping at all. But now I'm going to go ahead and get my Wink of Stella. Yes, Wink of Stella. I'm obsessed. Anyway, so I'm going to get my Wink of Stella here, and I'm just going to go in with each of these hearts and give them a little shimmer. I thought about putting some glossy accents on them too, but I just didn't. So I was too impatient. I wanted to get this card up and edited and up for YouTube for you guys. So I just left with the Wink of Stella. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some foam adhesive on the back of that. I did that off camera. And I'm going to work on my card base. This is again, buttered, I think it's called Buttered Mints. I think cardstock it's Bazzill. Shop cardstock. It's a really good thick cardstock. And I've added both foam adhesive to my main panel here and as well as the sentiment part. So you can see that there. So I'm just going to remove the backing of my panel here. And that pretty much finishes up the card today. I hope you guys try this technique out if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.